Support for Just Seen It comes from Warner Archive Instant. Streaming hard-to-find movies and TV shows direct from the studio at WarnerArchiveInstant.com. Kimball Beauty, offering a complete line of hair care products, is a proud sponsor of Just Seen It. Great hair equals great confidence. Learn more at KimballBeauty.com. Support for Just Seen It comes from Weaver's Coffee and Tea, makers of hand-roasted artisan coffee and hand-blended tea. Learn more at weaverscoffee.com. We continue our look at the fall TV season with ABC's comedy Super Fun Night, starring Rebel Wilson, and Showtime's Masters of Sex, that dramatizes the pioneers of human sexuality, Masters and Johnson.
Hi, I'm Aaron.
Hi, I'm Zoriana.
And I'm Salim, and we're here to talk about two new shows premiering this fall, ABC's Super Fun Night and Showtime's Masters of Sex. We're going to talk about Super Fun Night first. We've all just seen it. Zoriana, take us away.
Super Fun Night is about three nerdy best friends and roommates who balance their work lives and their friendships by having a super fun night every Friday.
That's them staying indoors, drinking soda and watching a movie, or dressing up for no apparent reason.
Yes, their Super Fun Night is not going to be our equivalent of a Super Fun Night.
It would be for me. I don't know what you're talking about, but it's a great show. It's absolutely hilarious. Rebel Wilson is the creative force at work here. She came up with the idea. She wrote the first episode. She's also the star.
tailor-made for her.
Oh, yeah, it's a vehicle. I mean, but in the best possible way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
She's the complete creative force behind this, and she has such confidence in the writing, in the performances. I compare it to Elizabeth Merriweather from New Girl in terms of how confident her voice is.
Mm-hmm. To me, this is the persona that she has cultivated already in things that we know and loved her in, which is Bridesmaids, Pitch Perfect, and even hosting the MTV Movie Awards. Right. It's someone who's loud, overconfident, and is not afraid to make fun of her oversized assets.
Yeah. There's a perfect balance of random and awkward humor that somehow she does so well.
I like to kind of compare her to Melissa McCarthy because they're both bigger women and they both have a very niche audience. But I love Rebel Wilson a lot more than Melissa McCarthy because Rebel Wilson is the kind of like Steve Carell, mumble something at the end of your punchline sort of humor. Yeah. And that stuff works really, really well. And I love that Conan O'Brien is exec producing.
Oh, of course,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
I actually don't liken her so much to Melissa McCarthy as I liken her to Tina Fey. Mm-hmm. Both are women who have created a brand for themselves, who are great writers, and who have a very specific sense of humor. And even the show itself, the format reminds me a lot of 30 Rock in the sense that there's a lot of flashback scenes. And with 30 Rock now being off the air, this is kind of great that this show is now coming on the air.
Yeah, no, I love the uniqueness of the show because it's about three best friends, but it's not the three best friends scenario that we're used to. These are three best friends who are not the most attractive in the world, but that's the point of the show. We want them to be goofy and not for them to be these attractive people that we can't relate to.
Exactly. Like in Sex and the City, you have these stereotype friends who are best friends, but come on, Charlotte and Samantha would never hang out together.
They don't go out and have super fun nights out because bad stuff happens to them. And at the end of the pilot episode, we see them go out to a nightclub and they're dressed up to the nines, except, they're not that great looking and the bouncer doesn't let them in. So they have that moment where they say, this is why we don't go out, this is why we don't do those things. So they're cognizant of the societal issues that they have to deal with and that their characters have to deal with, and it adds gravitas to the show, which is good.
The show has the sisterhood of Sex and the City and the quirkiness of 30 Rock, but it's pure Rebel Wilson. See it.
Hilarious and very unique, Rebel Wilson can do no wrong in my book. See it.
This is an incredibly funny new comedy that's definitely a vehicle for Rebel Wilson. However, it achieves its goal of being really, really, really funny. So I say see it.
Now, let's talk about Masters of Sex.
This is a 1-hour drama on Showtime about Dr. William Masters, who is an obstetrician who decided to do investigative research about how the mind and body react to sex. It's a very slow-moving show.
Slow?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? I didn't think that at all.
I mean, it's not bad. I'm not saying that it's a bad show. It's interesting. It's just like snail's pace.
No, it's not. Not
oh my
at
God.
all.
I agree that there are moments at the very beginning that are a little slow because the first episode is about him finding Virginia.
Yeah,
he's
establishing
I get
the
it.
characters and the team together.
I'm gonna agree with everything you guys are saying. It moved really slow.
I don't think so at all. I thought it moved. I thought the pace was deliberate and very effective in introducing everyone the way they should. Nothing was rushed. Nothing was rushed, but it moved at the exact pace that it should have. And I was engrossed the moment it began. I never once thought, oh, come on, speed it up, speed it up. I loved the fact that I really got to know each character.
I'm not sure why you chose me.
Instinct.
Even though I don't have a college degree or know anything about biology or anatomy.
I can teach you.
If you picked a female MD, she'd know all of this already.
A woman doctor would never jeopardize her career on such a risky subject.
And what I love is the Mad Men aesthetic to it, that it's taking place in the 50s, and it's comparing what they see as normal then compared to what we see as normal now, or the taboo of sex that they're finally exploring. And it's just great, because there's so many things that I didn't know that people didn't know back then.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and like when Michael Sheen gets home and you're like, oh my God, they have 2 twin beds.
Exactly.
I was like, oh my God,
It's
we're
like
in
the
50s, I
Flintstones.
forgot.
Exactly.
Speaking of Michael Sheen, he embodies Dr. Masters so much that it's hard to believe that anyone else could play him. But originally, Paul Bettany was cast in the role, dropped out, and it was Sheen who stepped in at the last minute. But I can't picture anyone else playing Dr.
he's
Masters.
great. No, he's great.
He's wonderful. I love how buttoned up he is. You can tell, obviously, that he's going to have a huge change over the course of the series. And it's fun because he's so meticulous about his work.
Lizzy Caplan is absolutely fantastic.
Perfect
I love
casting.
Lizzy Caplan so much. I've been such a big fan since she was Janice Ian in Mean Girls. I mean, I think she's great.
Well, what I love about Lizzy Caplan's character, obviously this is called Masters of Sex, so her character is going to have to get naked a few times, probably.
That's what you like best about Lizzy
No,
Caplan?
no.
that
I
she
just
already
love
did
how
get naked.
and it's
I
awesome.
love how confident she was in the character, and I love how tasteful all the scenes were. And it's not just about being gratuitous; it's about having a scientific nature to it.
This is a really informative, interesting show with terrific performances. And while I did enjoy it, I just don't think that it's must-see TV, that you have to watch it. So I'm going to say stream it.
The show is wonderfully acted, beautifully written, terrifically directed, and the best part is, it's far from over after the first hour. I say see it.
Though the show does take a little bit of time to get going, the period piece nature and unique characters make this a definite see it.
Well, our votes add up to 2.5 tickets, which is a see it for Masters of Sex.
Cheers! Cheers to a super fun night.
With the Masters of Sex.
He is fantastic. Yes, you got a question?
Oh, there's a plane.
Oh.
Kimball Beauty, offering a complete line of hair care products, is a proud sponsor of Just Seen It. Great hair equals great confidence. Learn more at KimballBeauty.com. Support for Just Seen It comes from Warner Archive Instant. Streaming hard-to-find movies and TV shows direct from the studio at WarnerArchiveInstant.com. Support for Just Seen It comes from Weaver's Coffee and Tea, makers of hand-roasted artisan coffee and hand-blended tea. Learn more at weaverscoffee.com.